States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's have roll call.
Councilwoman Barlow.
Here.
Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Gardner.
Here.
Councilman Jensen.
Here.
Okay, we have an honor tonight, and we are going to have a pinning ceremony for the firefighter Justin Jepperson, and we're going to turn it over to our fire chief.
Mayor and council, very honored to be here tonight with you. We get to honor Justin Jepperson. He's completed his probationary period, and he's done all the tasks and everything with great enthusiasm, done a great job and passed everything with flying colors. And I present you now with Justin Jepperson, our newest firefighter. I, Justin Jepperson, do solemnly swear to faithfully execute the duties of firefighter
Do solemnly swear to faithfully execute the duties of firefighter
for the city of Blackfoot,
for the city of Blackfoot,
to selflessly serve the citizens of Blackfoot with respect,
to selflessly serve the citizens of Blackfoot with respect,
integrity, and excellence,
integrity, and excellence,
to uphold the mission of the Blackfoot Fire Department,
to uphold the mission of the Blackfoot Fire Department,
and to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
and the state of Idaho,
and the state of Idaho,
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Blackfoot.
and the laws and ordinances of the city of Blackfoot.
Mayor and council.
Oh,
You get to sign both of those and then she'll sign.
Well,
Yep.
let me set it up for you. Okay. Need an amendment to the agenda.
awesome. No, you're good.
We'll have his wife pin him. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Also, before you run off, Captain Wall couldn't be here. He's got you something for the shift, so thank you.
Okay, I think the fire department probably wants to be excused to celebrate their new firefighter. And so if you'd like to leave, you may. If you want to stay, you can.
He laughs like they wouldn't want to stay.
I'm gonna go party, what do you mean?
This is the party.
No, they're going back to work.
You're more than welcome to come with us.
I feel like we're not.
Okay. Before we get going on the agenda, I would propose that we have an amendment to add a proclamation to the agenda, and would ask if the council wants such a change in the amendment, that we have a motion to do so.
Mayor, I move that we add the proclamation for the Career and Technical Education Month to the agenda as item D.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right, so, gotta look down here. I guess
It'll be right now.
we'll do that right now. The proclamation, basically, whereas the month of February 2026 has been designated the Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education. And at this point, rather than read the whole proclamation, we're going to make a proclamation, or I will make a proclamation if it's passed, that the month of February 2026 will be known as the Career Technical Education Month in Blackfoot, and urge all citizens to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the CTE programs in this community, and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual skills and productivity. May we have a motion to accept?
Do we need a motion for that, or?
Are we good?
Motion to approve it, yeah.
I motion that we approve the proclamation as presented.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll get that signed and sent off. Let's go to our consent agenda at this time. Let's have the minutes from January 6, 2026.
You can do that all in one motion if you want to.
Oh, okay.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll now go on to the legislative business. And you will notice that that's a change in the agenda. We're doing legislative business and quasi-judicial business. And it means you have to put on two different hats. Legislative business, you know, you get to do how you feel. Quasi-judicial, we have to follow the rules and ordinances and the laws, okay? Because we're acting as almost a judge. All right, so let's go with the first item on the legislative business. Graham Anderson, our CFO, please give us the treasurer's report.
Mayor, Council, good to be with you this evening. So the treasurer's report in front of you is for February 3rd, 2026, and we are looking at December's reconciliation and where we ended. So as of December 31st, 2025, we were at 25% of fiscal year 26 has elapsed. So as we look at that first table on the report, we look at where we're at expenditures year to date. The general fund as a whole, we're at 22.7%, which is on target, right where we'd expect and hope to be. As you look through there, admin's at 22.1, police is at 23.2, fire's at 19.7. So we're looking good on the front. As we move down to the other funds, ambulance, we're at 25.9%. Streets is at 27.9%, the airport's at 5.2%, cemetery 19%, library 16.3%, Parks and Rec is at 34.8%, with the parks at 46% and golf at 25.6%. So the parks is the high one, the outlier, because we had the carryover for Twin Bridges Landing. So all the finish up costs, and the closeout, and the final pay applications didn't come in until after we transitioned into the new fiscal year. So those are carryover costs, but all of those have been reimbursed through the bureau process. So we're on track, which is fine there. It just shows off. And at the end of the year, if we do have to make that adjustment to account, we'll open the budget for those costs. So. Moving on to water, we're at 9.9%, wastewater treatment plant at 19.7%, and sanitation at 24.3%. Any questions on any of those funds that I can answer for y'all tonight? Okay. Moving down to where we ended with our bank and investment accounts. So Morton Investments closed at $3.6 million. The LGIP fund closed at $13.1 million. The Diversified Bond Fund closed at $3.1 million. Our Zions sweep account closed at $8.3 million, and the Zions checking closed at $24,048.70. Any questions on our investments or savings account? Okay, all right. We'll kick over and look at the 3-month calendar. February 2026, we'll begin preparing budget worksheets and send those out to department heads as we start gearing up for round 1 of our budget meetings. That's just me getting everything prepared, getting their spreadsheets ready, and getting their list of GL codes that they need to be aware of and tracking. We also, if you remember in prior months, we were anticipating to do our annual audit presentation tonight. That got kicked down because as we were going through it, we had received a lot of federal monies that we had expensed through the year, and so there's a threshold with federal money when you spend more than $750,000 in grant money that's tied to federal. You have to do another layer to your audit, which they call it a single audit. So last year we didn't have that component because we didn't spend near $750,000 in grant money from the federal government. This year, with the completion of our sewer project with the ARPA monies, we closed that out. We spent the rest of those funds. That triggered the single audit. So it's just an added layer component that the auditors have to go through and document, and we have to report on. So Dan, our auditor with Quest CPAs, was hoping, he's like, oh, I think we can get it. He was thinking we could get it by Friday last week. He's like, I'm not going to get it. So, but we should have it wrapped up and finished, and we'll be ready for March's city council. So that's where we're at there. So March 26th, we'll present the audit. I will start with round 1 of budget meetings in March and getting all those lined out with department heads. And then as we move into April, we'll finish up round 1 and move into round 2 of our budget meetings. That'll all be contingent on, getting revenue projections and seeing where we're at the halfway point of the year, and kind of seeing what our needs and our capital investment list is going to be. So that's kind of where we're at. Any questions on our 3-month calendar outlook? Okay. We'll jump down to projects and where we're at. The ARPA projects is the last piece with the radio meters. There's no ARPA money to expense. We've already purchased all those meters. It's just a matter of the water department getting them installed. So they're making progress and headway on that. As we move down to the other miscellaneous projects, Meridian Highway 91, there hasn't been any progression or movement since last month, so there's no update to give there. West Bridge Street Bridge, we are working on final design of the bridge. We've started that with our engineering firm, and they're moving through that. We had a meeting with them last week, and that process is rolling along. Part of that, which we'll talk about in the next piece under me, a resolution for a construction grant. So I'll save that until when I finish up here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that piece of it. Moving down to Pendlebury, final design review is tomorrow. So we got all the final design documents done. LHTAC has reviewed it, and we will meet with the engineer firm, LHTAC, and ourselves to go over any final tweaks, changes. And as long as we all sign off and we're good with it tomorrow, we'll start prepping bid docs so that we can go out for bid for construction. So good progress there. We're excited for that movement to keep going. Downtown revitalization, no new updates in that project. Well number 14, so Denning Well Drilling reached their max depth yesterday. So well 14 is 400 feet down. So
wow.
It has
A lot of water coming out of it today.
Yeah. It has 16-inch casing all the way down to 240 feet. And then from there they hit stone, so they didn't have to case it. They could just go open hole all the rest of the way down to the 400 feet. So what they'll do now is they'll get prepped for the pump tests, and that'll be in the next couple weeks. They'll have to get with a company that does those pump testing, and then that will just to determine what the gallons per minute will be for that well and make sure that it meets the threshold based off of what our projections are for the design. So things are moving along. The good weather holding out for us gave us a really good traction and got us farther ahead than we thought we would be. So Once that all pump test is done, we'll continue on our design for the well house itself and all the components and skating network and all that good stuff, so. And then construction of that building. So we're still probably, 8 to 9 months out from that being in production, but we're moving in the right direction. It's going quicker than what we thought we would be, so. And then the last item on there, we have the Twin Bridges Landing. We've been working with JUB on our ideas and concepts, and they're working on an overall design concept of how that park's gonna lay out and look. And they're gonna phase it for us into the 3 different phases so that we can utilize funding from different areas, go after different grants, and be able to build that trail system and continue to build out that park. So, looking forward to that. Like I say, JUB's helping us and working on the design with that. They're the ones that have engineered and designed the first phase of it, and they'll help us through the next sets of it. So, good progress there. Any questions on any of the projects we talked about tonight, or?
I have one.
Sure.
So I know that we're abandoning a well and then, adopting well 14. Are we gonna be able to reuse any of those components? I know like the chlorination system is fairly new. Is anything gonna be able to transfer over?
So the well you're talking about is well 13 over there on Merkley. That one was never chlorinated because it's been taken out of production for years.
Oh, okay.
So when we did the chlorination upgrade, that one was never included in that because it's out of production. When they put that one in, I can't remember, Chris, you might remember how many years ago it was that they did it. It's been several. From day one, it never hit the
9, 10, 11 years.
Yeah, the pumping that it needed, because it pumped sand the whole time, and it went through pumps pretty regularly. And that's why it was pulled out of production.
Okay.
So most of the components there are obsolete, out of date, or have been damaged because of the sand that it was pulling out. So they'll pull what they can, but there's not gonna be much to salvage out of that,
Gotcha.
so. Yeah, any other questions? Okay. All right, so we'll move to the next item that I have under me. It's a resolution. So going back to what I talked about with the West Bridge Street Bridge. So as we've been moving along, getting to final design, we start asking ourselves, okay, what's our avenue to pay for this construction project and bridge? The last engineering estimate was $24,480,000 some change to construct that bridge. That's a lot of money. Obviously, in our street department, our entire budget for the street department is just over $2 million for operation, maintenance, and equipment. So the funding really isn't there out of the budget. So we have to look for other avenues and options. And so one of the great things about us partnering with LHTAC is they look and are always exploring what money is available out there through grants and other avenues. And they came upon a grant that the federal government's doing. It's called the Build Grant for 2026. And it's made available nationwide. And you can apply for up to $25 million for a project. And the money is for construction. It can't be for design or environmentals or any of that stuff. It has to be for the construction. So we're at the point now where we're getting those items wrapped up in this project so that we are in position to be ready to apply for a construction grant. The great thing again with LHTAC is they are willing to be the lead contact and handle all of the grant writing.
Wow.
Any of the federal requirements that require Davis-Bacon reporting, all that kind of stuff. And it's a big enough project, it's an important enough one. They're only able to do that for 3 entities for the entire state for this program. So we're pretty lucky, and I feel like they give us our best option and our best chances to be able to get this grant. Again, it's not a guarantee. Like all grants, it's competitive. We've got to throw our hat in the ring just like everybody else, but they'll help us make a really good case for it. And we'll keep going and applying for it as many times as we can if we don't get it, and they'll keep looking for other options for us. So for LHTAC to be that point, we have to adopt and pass a resolution allowing them to be the lead applicant in behalf of the city. And there's just some criteria that are in there that they need guarantees from us as a city as they go after the grant. So Garrett helped me put this together. Garrett, do you want to read the resolution, or do you want me to read it? Or?
I can read it.
Okay, Garrett's got it, so.
So what number would it be?
433.
So resolution number 433 is a resolution of the city of Blackfoot, Idaho, supporting and submitting in a fiscal year 2026 better utilizing investments to leverage development, build, capital construction grant opportunity. Whereas the city of Blackfoot is committed to providing safe, sustainable, and efficient transportation to our residents, businesses, and visitors. Whereas the city of Blackfoot recognizes the need for funding to improve and maintain the West Breach Street Bridge spanning the Snake River in order to maintain a roadway that is essential for access to schools, parks, employment, recreation, and regional connectivity. Whereas the city of Blackfoot's Bridge Street multimodal safety and connectivity project, as outlined, will provide the improvements necessary for said bridge construction. And whereas the city of Blackfoot seeks to apply for a fiscal year 2026 build capital construction grant, and whereas the local highway technical assistance council is willing to serve as the lead applicant for such build grant. Now therefore be it resolved, 1, that LHTAC is hereby authorized to serve as the lead applicant for the Build 2026 Capital Construction Grant as referenced herein, and the city hereby expresses its full support for said grant. 2, the city shall participate as the local project sponsor. 3, the city of Blackfoot hereby accepts responsibility for any project cost overruns beyond the awarded grant funds. And 4, that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute such documents as may be necessary to complete and submit the grant documents. Passed by the council and approved by the mayor this 3rd day of February 2026.
I move that we approve resolution 433 as presented.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Got to do a roll
Aye.
call
Or
vote.
roll call vote,
Yeah.
sorry.
Rookie.
I know, big rookie. All right, let's, Debbie, you want to start?
Julie usually does it.
Oh, Julie's going to do it. Now I'm really a rookie.
Councilwoman Barlow.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Gardner.
Yes.
Councilman Jensen.
Yes.
Do we need to have the treasurer's report approved?
No.
Okay.
All right, that's all I
Thanks,
have
Graham.
for you tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. I guess we'll go on to the next item, which is under me. I have a board appointment. I'd like to ask for the approval, nominate and approval of Steve Jackman to the P&Z board. Any conversation, discussion?
Don't know him.
I don't know him either.
Anybody willing to serve on the P&Z board is a commendable thing.
Mentally suspect, is that what you were gonna say?
There's not a lot of love there. All right, I move that we approve the appointment of Steve Jackman to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Well, now is my part. We get to do the State of the City address.
Brought some popcorn.
Julie asked for popcorn. Do you have any?
I forgot it.
All right, well, we'll get started here. First of all, I want to say good evening, friends and neighbors. Thank you for being here. One of my campaign pledges was simple, but very important, and that is to have candid conversations so every resident understands how our city works, the challenges we face, and why certain decisions are harder than they may appear. Tonight is about keeping that promise. Now, I love this city. I have been raised here my whole life, and many of you have been too. Our families are here, we shop here, we worship here, we recreate here, and we serve here. And that is why honesty matters. You deserve straight answers, not slogans or talking points. But before we talk about our challenges, I think it's important to recognize what this city has accomplished over the past year. We maintained a balanced budget despite inflationary pressures and rising costs. We have retained excellent city employees, which is increasingly difficult as surrounding cities actively try to recruit them away. Our fire department, also our ambulance department, serves a vast area from Wolverine to the north to Springfield in the south and a large area to the west. Last year, they responded to nearly 3,400 calls, about 9 calls every single day. Our police department has increased community engagement, strengthening trust and visibility throughout the city. Our K-9 units are now certified in fentanyl detection, improving our officer safety. DARE programs have been added to our school resource officer duties, and we have increased detective coverage on night shifts to address major crimes, gangs, graffiti, and narcotics activity. We have built a new animal shelter. We have expanded the cemetery, including new online map and grave locator. So if you go to the cityofblackfoot.org and go to cemeteries, if you want to find a grave, you want to find a relative, if they're buried there, it is located. It'll be easy to find. Phase 1 of the Broadway Street renovation was completed. Part 1 of the Twin Bridges improvement was completed, including new docks and restrooms. And our sewer department made major improvements while implementing new state-mandated processes without missing a beat. These accomplishments matter. They reflect responsible management, dedicated employees, and steady progress, even within serious constraints. Now let me turn to the reality that affects nearly every decision your city makes. Approximately 45% of the land within the city is not taxable, and I don't know if we have that map available or not.
The video isn't working right
Oh,
now.
video's not working, so I guess not.
You got that, can you, but you can't put it on the TVs?
The one that's in
It's all
red.
one document. Okay, thank you. There we go.
Okay, it's not that one, it's that one there.
Wow, that puts things in perspective.
Yeah, that's something.
You look at this map and you go, wait a minute, we can't tax any of that within the city limits? And that is the case. Why? Because the property is owned either by the state, the county, the schools, churches, and nonprofit organizations. All of that is not taxable. So all of these institutions provide value to the city. The reality is that nearly half of our city cannot generate property tax revenue, even though city services still support those properties and the people who use them. Property tax is one of the primary tools cities rely on to maintain streets, repair water and sewer lines, fund police and fire protection, and keep parks safe and usable. When nearly half the land base is off the tax rolls, that limitation is real and permanent. And if you'll slide up or down, one way, yeah, keep going. A little bit more right there. Now you'll see here the height of those lines. Those represent who's paying the most taxes. And you'll see that there are some reddish brown lines in there. Those places pay the most taxes for the city. Well, where are they located? Those are the high-density areas. Those are your multifamily dwellings. They provide the most taxes in the least amount of space. But I don't want you to worry that the city's going to raise property taxes. We are limited by the state, and that limit's 3%. And this is simply to help cover inflation. So let's talk about what's happened to us. Historically, cities had one responsible way to address this imbalance, and that was annexation. So growth helps pay for growth, and in return lowers your taxes. That tool, as of July 1st, 2025, has largely been taken away. Legislation authored by Julianne Young, supported by Speaker Mike Moyle, passed only after intense pressure was placed on nearly all legislators who voted for it by the Idaho Freedom Foundation. And I got this information from our legislators. That pressure was real, and it mattered. Before the bill passed, the Idaho Association of Cities asked that it be amended, not repealed, not blocked, amended, so that it would be reasonable for cities and counties and residents alike, so that we could help lower the taxes for our residents. What was the response? Those requests were flatly refused. No amendments, no compromise. Despite clear warnings that the law would cripple cities across Idaho, it was pushed forward as written. Now, this is my opinion, but in my opinion, the hostility toward the cities by Representative Young, Speaker Moyle, and the Idaho Freedom Foundation is real. I met with Representative Young this past January at one of our events. She was polite and personable. That's the first time I've ever met her. When she introduced herself, I knew previously what her role was in advancing this legislation that will harm every city in Idaho. And it was at that point I could not separate the demeanor from the outcome. When I met her, one thought popped into my mind, and that was from the Bible in Matthew 7. You will know them by their fruits, or in this case, by their works. And those works speak for themselves. For that reason, I cannot in good conscience support this kind of leadership or the foundation that drove this effort. So why does this matter to Blackfoot? Because without annexation and without revenue growth, cities are expected to do more with fewer tools. That affects infrastructure, public safety, and the services you rely on every day. Let's take a look at this. Blackfoot does not exist in isolation. County residents shop here, recreate here, and rely on our police, fire, and ambulance services. But poor county infrastructure decisions have consequences. There are subdivisions out in the county with no fire hydrants at all. In other areas, hydrants exist but lack sufficient water pressure to fight a structure fire. In those situations, fires must be fought using water carried on fire engines or tanker trucks. Here's the hard reality you have to realize. A fire engine's onboard water tank can sustain firefighting operations for 7.5 to 15 minutes using only the smallest hose available. One hose, not two, just one. And once that water is gone, the engine must leave the scene and return to Blackfoot to refill from a working hydrant or hope that we have an available water truck at the site of the fire with enough water to put the fire out. Having to leave and return takes time. Time we do not have if we are trying to save someone's home. Blackfoot has very few tanker trucks and limited personnel to staff them. In a major county fire, effective response will be difficult and in some cases impossible. This is not political rhetoric. It's an operational reality. And this is why the insurance rates outside the city are significantly higher than what they are in the city. Well, we're talking water, so let's talk more about more water. A lot of people in Blackfoot, they complain about the smell, the taste. Groundwater levels in Idaho have been declining since 1950s and are now near historic lows, dating back to measurements made clear back in 1913. Because of this, the state strictly limits cities from drilling new wells. And as we heard earlier tonight, and after significant effort, and what the city had to go through is amazing, but I'm not going to go through it tonight, Blackfoot was finally allowed to drill well number 14 at the corner of Cromwell and Pendlebury. And this takes about 9 months to complete, but it will help significantly with the summer water pressure. Some facts you may not know. Blackfoot uses about 1.5 million gallons of water per day in the winter. In the summer, it jumps up to 5 to 6 million gallons per day. But in very hot summer days, it's 8 to 9 million, and at one point we reached 11 million gallons of water in that day. Our system simply isn't designed for that peak demand. So we go back to water quality. The state requires bi-monthly water testing. When bacteria reaches certain thresholds, we must add chlorine to keep the chloroform and other bacteria out of the system. And Blackfoot always uses the minimum amount required by law, because that amount actually kills the bacteria. Chlorine is added to the well to kill that bacteria. If the well is offline and it has been treated with chlorine, and for your information, the wells don't run constantly. They turn off and on. Various wells will turn on and then other wells will turn off. And it's all based on the use. But at that point, when that well turns on and chlorine has been added, you're going to smell chlorine. Why? Because that means chlorine is working. It's killing bacteria. But now here's a fact that you may not know. That chlorine only smells when it comes into contact with bacteria, which is good, and it tells you it's being killed, but not all smell is coming from the pipes through the city. Odors also occur when you turn the water on, it hits your sink, it could smell then. If it goes into your drain, it could smell then, because that tells you that bacteria is in that location and that it's not the city water, but it may be actually in your sinks or in your drains. Now, you might wonder, why does groundwater have bacteria? I'm going to remind you of a simple fact. Water flows downhill. I know I had to do some irrigation at one point, and when Dad asked me to flood irrigate, it was really hard to get some of the uphill corners. But over the decades, understand this, bacteria from homes on septic systems and other sources eventually migrate into the groundwater, and that is pumped up, and that's why we have more bacteria today. So this year, depending on the snowpack, and let's face it, we've had record high temperatures, we have low snowpacks. A few months ago, I've been to 3 different water conferences. They say we're at 100%, but the next 3 months we're going to dictate on what was going to happen. So water conservation may be required by the city. And if implemented, it will be enforced because public safety comes first. And I'm going to ask you all now as citizens, log on to cityofblackfoot.org for notices now and in the future. You can sign up for those notices. In addition, we're going to start doing short podcasts on those and other issues so that everyone can be informed to have their questions answered. So submit your questions. We're happy to do a short podcast. We'll post them on there. It may be on chlorine treatment, how it works, and it can be on any issue that you want to do. But we want to do some short podcasts so that you will be informed, you'll be educated, and it will help everybody. Now, let's talk about unfunded mandates. You know, we're asked to check for chloroform. So an unfunded mandate is a new regulation or law by the state or federal government which requires us to spend money, and we get no monetary help from the government to pass that law. But yet they still require compliance. So let me give you an example. We were required to comply with the new phosphate treatment requirements, which cost tens of thousands of dollars, and today, you know, and that's how we treated the phosphate. So we have to do it. We don't have any choice. We get no money. It costs us more. It costs the residents more. The next mandate that's now involving us is related to Teflon-related chemicals. And since they abbreviate it TFAS, and I'm just going to say, I can't pronounce the name. But what it involves is that we're going to have to even spend more money. We're going to have to test for these Teflon related chemicals. And the problem is you say, well, that's just in pans. No, it's in a lot of the wrappers. It's in pizza boxes. It's, so things don't stick to that paper. And so there's a lot of it out there. So I was concerned. We have all these unfunded mandates. And so I asked one of our local representatives, I said, wouldn't it be great if you introduced a bill into the state legislature that said the state can no longer have unfunded mandates. They had to give you money to help pay for it. All I got was a smile and that told me everything. That's never going to happen. So let's talk about Jensen's Grove. We reached a new agreement with the Snake River Valley Irrigation District, and pending approval from the Army Corps of Engineers, we will be able to build a new dike. We have the construction company ready to go to do that, so as soon as we get that approval from the Army Corps of Engineers, we will start building the dike. Now, let's hope there's enough spring runoff that cooperates this year, that we have enough water to keep in the lake, keep it full all year. But I want everybody to remember one thing. Farmers do come first, and we are second. So, finally, government grants. Now, these help cities with their infrastructure. They're not free money. They require local matches many times. They have strict limitations, and there is intense competition with other cities. You heard GRAHM talk about the one for $25 million. We are competing nationwide for that grant. So we may or may not get it. More importantly, you have to understand that grants do not replace a stable tax base. So in closing, after all of that education, I do remain optimistic. We have exceptional employees. We have dedicated first responders, thoughtful council members, and residents who care deeply about this city. Now, I promised you candor, and tonight is part of keeping that promise. Thank you for your trust, your engagement, and your commitment to the community that we all call home.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, now that I've bored you totally, we'll go on to the next item. And this is quasi-judicial business, and it's on the planning and zoning, and we're going to have Travis Allen go ahead and begin.
Thank you, Mayor. I see that all of the council members have received in their packets a traffic study that was done for Honeybrook. It's going to be called Honeybrook 3 now. The 52 single-family attached residential development located south of Honeybrook 2. I hope you enjoyed all 80 pages of it, but in conclusion, it does say that according to the methodologies of the Highway Capacity Manual, based on current growth rates, the Pendlebury-Cromwell Judicial Intersection is projected to operate an acceptable level of service for a reasonable planning horizon appropriate for the project of this site. This is provided by Connect Engineering and used all of the LHTAC manuals that are at their service, and we've used them in other traffic studies as well. If you have any questions about it.
So in the spirit of full disclosure, I did have an individual contact me, letting me know about some concerns about the study that she had shared it with an engineer. But then another individual emailed the entire city council, so we've all been privy to that information now. So nothing new there, but I did want to disclose that.
Okay. My understanding is it had an A rating the first time we looked at it. It still has an A rating.
Yeah,
Is that
still
correct?
started at A, remains at an A. No changes are required until it reaches a D rating, according to the highway handbook. And they projected it with Rates, so I added an off-season rate factor because they did their data sampling during the winter. So they added a seasonal rate factor that shows more traffic flow for different reasons, whether it's summer traffic or during school schedule. And they also added other factories and given it a generous factor of 3% growth. And it still never reached out of the A category or into a B category to require any more upgrades. We are already upgrading Pendlebury, as we reported earlier with the treasurer. We have the new well coming, and it's looking great. So the traffic study is complete, and it doesn't show any problems with any growth for the city.
Okay. Any questions of Travis?
What do we need to do with this, Garrett?
Well, so your original decision was to approve it, and then Councilwoman Barlow, excuse me, had done the motion to have that brought back pending a traffic study. So I think where you're at really is if you believe the traffic study has materially changed the proposal, then you would do a vote to remand that back and have a second public hearing on that. If the traffic study confirms the traffic's not an issue, if you lean that way, I think you can just do a vote to confirm the original decision.
Okay.
Kind of depends on how you're looking at that traffic study.
Okay. Well, I think we've met the burden of due diligence, and I would propose that we vote to confirm our original decision.
I'll second that.
Okay. Roll call vote?
Okay. Councilwoman Barlow.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Gardner.
No.
Councilman Jensen.
Yes.
Based upon that vote, like we had talked, I guess 2 months ago, I'll put the findings of fact together for council that would be then on the agenda next month.
Okay.
Because your findings are a little different than the planning and zoning findings, so.
Okay.
So the decision's not final until those findings are adopted.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good.
Okay, that is
Travis? Thank you.
the end of the agenda.
That's it.
You just declare us adjourned.
Oh, I'm going to declare us adjourned.